Apane ni Benjamin Namong ni Bikong Bikai.
The game is a gift and a dream that a young boy had. He falls asleep, wakes up somewhere else, has this experience of being helped by this other person his age, learns of the game, how it's played, why it's played, all the gifts, the songs, the practices, the medicines.
Name had got the ball and ran it in and scored. And there was this big celebration, and he was told, he's like, when you wake up, he's like, you're gonna share this with your people. I'm just gonna help them. He woke up laying on the shore. His legs were in the water, and there was a sturgeon swimming in the shore by him.
The one that gave us this game is this Name. And the game came at a time when we needed it. We all hold our sticks up because we're trying to get the money duck's attention. When we yell out, we've been thinking about why we're playing, and we put that in our heart, and then we're transmitting that to the money duck.
Baaga'adowewin is bringing back something that we had a long, long time ago, and we need back.
You know, I was active in like basketball and football, but when I picked up this, I couldn't let it go. We're so lucky as the Anishinaabe people to look at something and say, that's me, you know, that's who I am.
It has everything and every aspect of life within it. When we engage in it, we really are taking the opportunity to develop skills and thoughts and embrace values that are a part of our everyday life. When we do it with respect, we do it with this reverence for what we were given.
You know, now we're meeting up against people from different communities. That's a beautiful thing. Historically, we played against each other whenever we got together. During treaty annuity payments or powwow ceremonial season. Look at any historical record of Ojibwe people, this was the most important game. But once treaties were signed, most of the game went away through the assimilation practices that were put in place in the United States. You know, the boarding schools. And by the 1920s, 1930s, it was pretty much non-existent.
To me, it's not a mystery that the things that we would engage in for entertainment, competition, and training for being physically fit, or even to be sharp in your mind, when you take away those aspects of your way of life, it's a process of dehumanization to break down a society. But, you know, we didn't really much want to give up what we were given.
That's why it's powerful, that's why it's meaningful, and why we're attaching ourselves to it. We're claiming it again. So Gigi means to carry it in your heart, carry it in your mind, and part of that is this revitalization and carrying it forward.
I first heard about Tom House and Bill House bringing the game back, and had seen some things before, but not really seen a game. And then small games started happening here and there.
Minwanimud Goki was helping restore Baaga'adowewin in the community. He got the momentum going and made connections and taught me how to play. And so I was able to help the kids continue to play and build their skills.
Every Friday in middle school, Joy would have a game set up in the recess place. It seemed pretty hard, but then she taught me how to cradle. So then it started getting easier, and then I just kind of picked it up from there.
In the beginning ceremony, they said that this was the first generation of Ojibwe to grow up with a lacrosse stick in their hands since the early 1800s.
Any of the people I talked to today don't remember it. My daughter, she had her whole life There were pictures of her as a baby, you know, playing with lacrosse sticks and being around the games, and she can cradle and she can shoot and score.
You know, 22 years of my life, I didn't have this stick. And now I don't want anyone else to live 22 years without a stick. When me and a couple of people first came here, we were standing around like, man, maybe this isn't for us. This is something so different that we didn't see that was a missing part of us almost. Like, it was for us. It's just about breaking that cycle and showing these kids that vulnerability.
Early on, the one limiting factor to have a game, there was no sticks. I knew how to steam bend wood. I knew how to work with ash. And so I thought, well, okay, this is possible. And then I decided one day to make my first sticks. When I set out to do this in 2017, there's nobody making sticks in my community, so I just had to figure it out. And even though all our parents told us don't cut toward yourself, this is the one time where you do that. This is just bear grease that I traded for. It sort of preserves the stick. Bear being important in Ojibwe culture, and we're bringing that bear's power and protection and strength into that stick. That's what is being imparted to the person that's using it. Now that's a completed stick. It just needs a player.
I have not yet found somebody, and I don't know anybody else from around here that's been able to find someone from our community here that grew up seeing this. Making this thing is a combination of all the people in my life that taught me different things. My mom taught me how to sew and how to work with hide. There's something in it. It's not just simply a thing that is thrown about for a game. It's part of something a whole lot more.
The origin story, there are gifts that are part of that. They're putting their hopes as a community into that gift, their prayers into that gift. And so that has to be distributed. It shouldn't be hoarded. And so let's give that back out. I've seen games structured where they're for money too. I like the gift games personally. That's more the energy with which I came to it and which I intend for the game is about building community and a wellness and less about the competitive side.
We like to think about the idea of everything that's been placed down for us to pick up. It's always there. It might not be right there in your home growing up the whole time or right there in the community, all that. It's there for us. And so when we pick that up and start to make sticks and start to make the ball and start to make the posts and revitalize this historic place where our ancestors engaged in it, if we choose that and we put our life into it, we can pick that up and carry it along and put some things back into it.
It's just part of that reclamation of something that wasn't given up willingly. So I think that that's sort of being defiant in a way, like saying, hey, you know, my great-grandma didn't want to go to boarding school, but she did. My grandma didn't want to go off to boarding school, but she had to. Otherwise, maybe things would be different. And so there's sort of a constructive anger with this. It's being defiant. Like, well, you said at one point we couldn't do this. Now we can, and we're going to do it.